In the country of Turkey, we're going to hunt Bezoar Ibex. It looks like it's going to be pretty tough because it's really steep and rugged. We went from Turkey to Montana, and we're hopefully going to find a big bear tonight. Hey guys! Welcome to my TV show, YoungBlood. Hi, my name is Mackenzie Sims. I'm 14 years old, and I live in Evanston, Wyoming. And this place right here is my trophy room. This year we have scheduled some amazing hunts going after the biggest, most dangerous game on 5 continents, including my next safari in Africa, where I'll be setting a new world record, being the youngest person to ever complete Africa's Big 5 in a single safari. But for this show, we're hunting Ibex in Turkey. Let's see what happens.
Turkey is a transcontinental country lying in both Asia and Europe. And across this continental divide sits its largest city, Istanbul, with a population over 12 million people. As Constantinople, Istanbul was once a capital of Christian civilization. Today, Islam is the major religion, and the city boasts nearly 3,000 mosques. One such, the Sultan Ahmed Mosque, is a popular tourist destination. Built between 1609 and 1616, the mosque rests on the site of the ancient Byzantine palace and is considered the last great mosque of the Ottoman classical period. Sultan Ahmed Mosque is popularly known as the Blue Mosque for the dominating blues of the interior paint and tile work. As the center of Turkish economy, Istanbul generates 1/5 of the nation's gross national product, and the city's 2 primary economic sectors are industry and tourism. Over 30 million people visit Turkey each year, with Istanbul being the chief destination, and also the point of entry for the YoungBlood team, from where they will travel across the country to the village of Kuyacak, situated at the base of the Taurus Mountains.
We'd get up very early because we had about an hour-and-a-half drive, and then we'd take this little windy 2-track road down to the bottom of the mountain.
Mackenzie's mom and dad chat with the other hunters while they wait for him to load his gear. The Taurus Mountains of southern Turkey run for 348 miles along the Mediterranean coast. The Euphrates River, one of the most historically significant in the world, originates in the eastern Taurus. These magnificent mountains are rugged and rocky and offer some of the most difficult climbing in Turkey. Ibex hunting in the Taurus can be grueling, exhausting efforts, often requiring hours of climbing per day. The slopes are steep and covered with jagged, shattered rock in the lower reaches, and frozen snow and ice sheets in the upper elevations.
And they had certain little spots that we'd stop, and we'd take our binoculars and spot scopes and just scan the mountainside looking for Ibex.
All right, now pick your binoculars up and come down till you find that big dead tree. It's the very first tree you get to.
Once it is determined that there is a suitable representative of the species present, the YoungBlood team and their guides will take the necessary time to monitor the herd's movement and feeding pattern. When satisfied with the herd's position, our primary guide, Sarp, will determine the best route to take in order to close in on the Ibex for a shot. The direction of approach to the herd is important and always involves circling the quarry in order to keep the wind in favor of the hunters. Leading the group is the game warden, Ismet. A warden is required on all hunts in Turkey, but is also a substantial benefit to hunters given the warden's knowledge of both the geography and wildlife in their areas. Behind Mackenzie is one of the guides, Mehmet, followed by Sarp, who in addition to being the primary guide is also the translator, as he is the only one in the group who speaks both Turkish and English. At the end of the column is the third guide, also named Mehmet. The two Mehmets are residents of Kuyacak.
Another good part about this hunt is that 35% of the revenue goes back to the villagers and people that live in the area that we are hunting in. By hunting, you really give a lot back to the villagers. It doesn't go all back to the outfit or the hunting company. It goes right to where it counts.
By the time the team summits a plateau halfway up the mountain, the hour has grown late and cold and rain has begun to fall. Using stone shelters built by shepherds whose flocks grazed on the plateau, the hunting party takes cover from the rain. Ultimately, they decide to end the day's hunt with enough time to get down the mountain before dark, get a good night's sleep, and an early start tomorrow.
There's a bunch of rocks that have shattered away, and there's some edges on them that are really sharp. There's a bunch of thorn bushes. When you almost fall, you grab a hold of them, they hurt your hand. It's tougher than it looks. You gotta watch out for holes and cracks so you don't break an ankle.
After a morning of tough climbing, the team at last spots a herd of ibex. Arguably the most striking of the ibex family, Bezoar are among the most sought-after trophy animals in the world, due in part to the difficulty of the hunt and in part to their majestic scimitar-shaped horns, which can grow to over 50 inches. Like any wild goat, Bezoar are steep terrain dwellers. They possess cloven two-toed hooves that spread wide to provide amazing balance.
Well, when we'd find an ibex, we'd sit there and we'd plan our stalk out. If they were like on one side of a drainage or something, we'd look where the wind's blowing, try to find the easiest way around to get to them within the range I'm capable of shooting, and hopefully just get in there and get a clean shot.
Hours later, Team YoungBlood sights the ibex herd beginning a climb down a steep slope about 600 yards away. Mackenzie and Sarp set up for a shot in hopes that the ibex continued to approach. However, they never quite come into good shooting range. Instead, the ibex turn and disappear around the back of the mountain.
We just couldn't get to the ibex before it got too dark.
After days filled with grueling hiking and unsuccessful stalks, the final day of the hunt arrives, and with it Mackenzie's last chance to harvest an ibex before his license expires.
It's pretty challenging. Didn't get him yesterday. Today is the last day and haven't had any luck so far. Hopefully within the next 5 hours we'll get something.
The group locates a small herd of ibex roaming relatively low on the mountain slope. One of the Mehmets points out a nice buck among their number.
We were looking for a decent-sized ibex. We were looking for one in the high 40s, low 50s.
Mackenzie, Sarp, and Jack discuss their options. Sarp lays out two strategies. The team can approach the ibex from the bottom, which runs the risk of the ibex spotting or scenting the hunters and retreating further up the mountainside. Or the group can travel further down the base and climb the mountain away from the herd, circling around to come upon the ibex from above. Sarp warns that this route will take hours longer, but he believes this is the best chance to secure a shot. Jack and Mackenzie agree. Team YoungBlood begins its most arduous climb yet.
We started a big hike up the mountain after some ibex. We ended up climbing through some really steep rocks, through some snow. And as soon as we got up here, caught a bunch of ravens from way up high, came down and spooked them. They were circling above them and carrying on. So now they're heading up, so who knows if we'll get a shot at them now.
Sarp stops to locate the ibex. The hunting party must climb higher than intended to have any chance at a trophy. But it is the last day of the hunt, and no one wants to go home empty-handed. High in the Taurus Mountains, the ibex hunt turns increasingly more treacherous. Steep and slippery snowbanks give way to sheer cliff faces. A single misstep can spell disaster. There are only two choices: turn back and give up the trail, or soldier on, trusting in the guides to lead them on the correct path through the perilous landscape. Sarp demonstrates to Mackenzie the safe and proper method of hiking across these snowpacks, cutting through the icy crust with the side of a boot and sidestepping down and forward to stay balanced. But here, even the experienced can find themselves in jeopardy.
The tracks of these?
But here, even the experienced can find themselves in jeopardy. Less than 10 feet separates the guide from the fatal drop. Thankfully, he recovers. Sarp leads Jack and Mackenzie onward, but it's mid-afternoon. The team is exhausted from the hike and on edge from the hazards all around them. And the trail of the ibex continues higher into even more dangerous terrain. Both guides and hunters agree to end the pursuit here. It's disappointing, but at least Mehmet shows them the quick way down the mountain.
It was the toughest day I ever spent my whole life hunting, I think. It's a long way to the top and a long way to the bottom. We did have fun sliding down the snow, but it was a pretty treacherous journey, for sure. Cut.
5-year saga came to an end. It's round 2 in the books on Bezoar Ibex, day 1, with a tremendous old Billy.